Hello everyone, my name is Bhavana Vippala. Now I am going to present my machine learning project, which is a career navigator. I want to start my presentation with a question. Why does finding the right career fit matter? Imagine feeling excited to go to a work because you truly love the job which matches you. We all heard stories of a people who switches careers and suddenly become much happier. That's the power of good career fit. A well-matched career can boost the job satisfaction and even reduce the stress, turning the work from a daily grind into a rewarding experience. When people work in a role suited to their skills and interests, they tend to be more productive and also more motivated. On the flip side, if there is a mismatch, say someone with a creative soul is stuck in a rigid technical role, it can lead to frustration and lower performance over the time. This is the motivation behind our project. Career decision can be overwhelming. There are thousands of job titles out of there and tons of advices floating around. Especially for those earlier in this career or looking to make a change, it's hard to know where to start. So we created our project Career Navigator in order to come out from this all projects. What are the goals of our projects are? Our primary goal with our career navigator is accurately align each person's skills and passion with the most suitable job role. And the next one is to achieve our research delives into how different experience and qualities contribute to the career success and the fit. We looked at the things like participation into the hackathons, earning technical certification, taking on leadership role, teamwork experience, communication skill, and asked how each of these factors might influence where someone thrives. For example, does competing in the hackathons actually translate to the better job performance in a software role? Does having leadership experience open up more career pathways or improve the fit in a management role? By studying these questions across the various fields, we can understand the ingredients of a career success. Finally, combining skill matching with these development insights, Career Navigator aims to suggest individualized career paths and even the next step for the growth. It's not just here your ideal job, it can also highlight, for example, with your background, you might shine as a data analyst, and taking an advanced course in a machine learning could get you even closer to that role. But be you the data to give a good advice, you need a good data. So we built a career navigator on two rich sources. One is current job posting and the real candidate profiles. Job listing. We collected thousands of recent job posting across many industries using a service called Amplify to gather them. And next one is the candidate profiles. We also analyze the large data set of a real world tech profile, about 7 lakhs GitHub profiles. GitHub is a platform where developers share a code and the project. And by looking at this profile, we can infer the person's technical skills, the kind of project they are worked on, and even their activity patterns. Job posting tell us what the demand is and the profile tell us what the supply. Combining these two allow the career navigator to matches between people and the jobs in a data driven way. The models, let's talk about how we turn this raw data into the useful insight. We used a mix of data processing and machine learning model, some of the supervised and some unsupervised wording. Here we use the data processing pipeline. First, we had converted all the messy real world data into the form of algorithms can work with. We perform the feature engineering and profiles and job description, basically translating the text and experience into the numerical indicators. And we made sure that to standardize and split the data properly, one part for the training our models and other part for the testing our models. Supervised model. In supervised model, for the predictive part, actually recommending or predicting a good career role for a person, we tried different machine learning model. We started with the logistic regression as a baseline. This is a simple linear model which essentially draws straight lines through the feature space to separate the different career categories. It is easy to interpret and give us a benchmark for initial accuracy. We then used a random forest classifier, which is an ensemble of many decision tree. This capture more complex and nonlinear patterns in a data, essentially a forest of if then rules. And added a benefit of random forest is that it can tell us which features were most important in making the decisions. And we tried the XG boost, which is more advanced ensemble method. It built a series of trees sequentially, each one correcting errors of previous one. In our experiment, XGBoost ended up giving the highest prediction accuracy for identifying the ideal career role for given profile. We also experimented with the SVM model. SVM are good at handling a very high dimensional data and finding the subtle boundaries between a classes. We found it is useful for distinguishing difference between the career categories. For example, the roles that are somewhat similar but still distant, like data engineering versus data scientist. However, the SVM was bit slower to train and did not beat the XBoost. In end, combining this model in an ensemble, or at least comparing them, give us confidence in predicting system. We choose XBoost as a primary recommendation. Unsupervised analysis. Besides predicting the roles, we also want to explore the data without predefined categories to see what natural groupings or patterns exist. We applied k-mean clustering on the candidate profiles. Essentially, the algorithms grouped similar profiles together into cluster. Interestingly, distant archetypes of the candidates merged. And we also perform the hierarchical clustering, which is also a building a family tree of a profile. It shows how clustering themselves can be related. To this, we could observe, for instance, that the hardcore coders cluster was closely linked to the another cluster of data enthusiasts, including the software developers and the data scientists have a lot of overlap in the skills. To make sense of high dimensional data and the visualize, we used a principal component analysis to reduce the data to the two main dimensions. Then we plotted the profiles on a 2D scatter plot. The result was quite revealing. Profiles naturally formed a clusters by career orientation. We could literally see the clusters of points representing developers and other clusters for data analysis and others so on. Another cool thing we did was association rule mining on the profile. This is a technique often used in market basket analysis. In our contest, it found frequently co-occurring skills qualification or interesting in a same person. For example, we discovered a pattern such as candidates who have certain cloud computing certification often also have completed a specific online course on a scalable system. All of these model steps, both supervised and unsupervised, work together in inform of a career navigator. The supervised model focus on making the best match for the each individual, while the unsupervised analyze the provide deeper insights into the structure of career and the candidates. Now let's see the key findings of insights. Our analysis is revealed several key insights that are both interesting and actionable. These findings help it to shape how Career Navigator give advice. First one is personalized role and recommendation. We confirm that the data-driven approach can narrow down the thousands of possible jobs to a handful of well-matched options for each person. And the next one is one strong predictor for excelling in a certain career turned out to be a logical reasoning or a logical question score. Technical and analytical roles like software developer and engineer and data scientist tended to demand higher logical reasoning abilities. In fact, successful people in this role scored especially higher on logic based assessment. This makes sense. Those careers involve structured problem solving. Meanwhile, we saw that some more creative or people oriented career showed a more balanced reliance on the skills. Next one is hackathons boost coding skill. The data showed a clear correlation. The participation in hackathons tends to coincide with a higher coding skill rating and even better technical interview performance down in a line. And the next one is communication skills and leadership. We often hear that soft skills like communication as important are finding backs that up strongly. Strong public speaking and the communication skills were common among the individual and the leadership. Next one, when we go to is the certification aligned with the country, we notice that the uh, distance patterns in how professional certification was learning and the interesting aligned with a certain career. For instance, successful cloud engineer in our data almost always had a cloud computing certification like AWS or Azure certification. Data scientists frequently had a credential in machine learning or data analysis. This targeted qualification really help the candidate to stand out in which those fields they act as strong signals of expertise. And the next one, work environment and personality fit. Another insight was about the kind of work environment people thrive in, which ties into the personality. We saw clear preference. Some candidates are startup enthusiastic while others are drawn enterprise companies. Career Navigator account for this by factoring in environment preference and work style. If someone showed through their profile or responses that they enjoy autonomy and quiet problem, the tool will lean towards recommending the roles and the workplace that offers that scent. Someone might be interested to work as a teamwork and someone might be work as an individual. So it helps us to choose the career based upon their individual interest. This case finding not only validates some common career advice like data, but also uncovered how various elements from hackathons to certification, personal preference, each played part in a career puzzle. Together they enable the career navigator to make good recommendation. For example, an introvert but highly skilled coder might be guided toward a specialist engineering role at a stable company, whereas a very social multi-skilled person might be guided toward a product management role. Now, in closing, let's reflect on what the career navigator and why it matters. Choosing the right career can truly lead to happier life. When you find a job that aligns with your natural skills and your patience, work does not feel like an stress. It becomes fulfilling. Our hope is that the career navigator can help more people and make the kind of match by providing the clear data driven recommendation tailored to each individual. We remove a lot of uncertainty from the career decision instead of blindly applying to the dozens of jobs or feeling stuck. Users can get a focused list of roles that fit them well, along with the insight into why those roles are fit. This not only reduces the stress of job search but also empowers the people to focus in their energy on the opportunity that matters the most. Ultimately, Career Navigator is like having an accessible personal career coach that anyone can use it. Thank you for the listening. If even a few people find more satisfying career because of this project, then it's a success in our eyes. Thank you.